Hello everybody, my name's Jan and I'm the CEO at Muscular Dystrophy Australia here in Melbourne. Great to hear about all the capacity within the Salesforce not-for-profit environment. I'm going to talk to you about us as a relatively new customer for Salesforce. Ooh, I'm going backwards, I'll go forwards. And how we met. Can I just ask a question? As a good fundraiser by trade, before I became a CEO, I spent quite a long time raising funds for organisations. I'd like to get to know my audience. So who here has not yet already moved into Salesforce world? Are we all existing customers? If you haven't? You haven't yet? Excellent. All right, so I might be talking to you. I could be talking to an audience of two. So everybody else, just get yourself a drink, it'll be fine. What I want to talk about is how Muscular Dystrophy Australia, as a small organisation, managed to implement Salesforce and Payments2us successfully. If we can do it, anyone can do it. But first, a little about muscular dystrophy. So our organisation is a national organisation supporting over 1,000 people at any one time who are living with neuromuscular disorders. More than 60 different rare disorders, but what they all have in common is that they're degenerative and over time they will cause muscle weakness, which could impact someone's ability to move, can impact speech, can impact major muscles such as your heart and your lungs as well. And what those 60 different disorders all have in common is there's no cure for any of them. So someone diagnosed with muscular dystrophy knows that there may be treatments that can mitigate or slow down the muscle degeneration, but right now there's no cure, which is what we're working for, obviously, to support people now to live the life they choose and to find the cures and treatments they need. So to do that, we've got a team of 6 people in Muscular Dystrophy Australia supporting our work. So this picture actually is the Muscular Dystrophy Australia team holding the banner, including 2 of our board members. And this was us welcoming the amazing Jeff and Sharon, who motorbiked down from Queensland to Melbourne to raise funds for our work because their grandchild has been diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. But when I say we're a small team, that is the Muscular Dystrophy Australia team. We don't have an IT person. We don't have any tech support at all, apart from a volunteer who lives in Australia and is an air traffic controller by trade. So he works for some odd hours for us. That's the team that brought in Salesforce for our organisation. And this is what we had. Why did we decide to do Salesforce? When I joined the organisation 4 years ago, we had a database that had been built by the founder of the organisation late at night on Access. He built this. It was incredibly data rich. I could not believe it. Having worked for large organisations, the amount of data the organisation was capturing was phenomenal. The ability to actually manipulate, report on, access, update the data got a bit clunky. This was a 30-year-old database that had add-ons. Only the guy who wrote it knew how to update the reports or change anything behind the scenes. Powerful, but also quite scary, and a bit of a risk for the organisation, if I'm honest, because if you've got a database where only one person knows how to get in behind the scenes and fix it, that puts us in an awfully risky position. And Jeff, you might want to look away now. This was our donation form on the website. Yeah, current in about 1986, I would say. So we knew we needed to do more. We're ambitious, we need to raise more funds, we need to engage, we need to look after our clients better. We needed a better module to be able to do that. So when we were looking for a new database, the board, God bless them, said yes, we'll find some funds and we'll invest in a CRM for our organisation. And we needed to balance the importance of our client service and the fact that we are an NDIS delivery organisation with our growing fundraising program. So we kind of got a small team, and importantly, we went out and we chatted to everybody. What are you using? What's working? What's horrible? What's the support like? And we got great feedback from people. And we found some platforms that were brilliant for our NDIS services, but abysmal for fundraising, and vice versa. And so we shortlisted 3 platforms in the end, with a recommendation to go with Salesforce. Now that's going to move on to, isn't it? Good. Oh yes. So why we chose the option that we chose? Crucially, because we could balance the 2 important criteria for us of fundraising, informed, smart, data-driven fundraising, but also being able to meet our compliance as an NDIS provider. Both of those things we're able to do within the environment. We get 10 free licenses. Woohoo! Don't underestimate it. That's great for us. One less bill I have to pay. Being able to get support 24/7, a supportive network out there. Jeff, you mentioned that you can just kind of Google Salesforce or Payments2us and a question or an error message, and there is so much data out there. That was really important for us. We're not going to be able to hire tech support in-house. I need to know that we've got flexible tech support. We've seen, and James showed us some of the amazing elements that you can add in to the environment. But for us, we made the decision to go minimum viable product now. What do we need right now to run our organisation well? And we know the ones we'd like to add in time, but we deliberately chose not to go for everything. We didn't want to have the whole picnic because we knew we didn't have the capacity to manage it properly. And Payments2us gives us regular giving. We didn't have regular giving capability before. Great forms on the website, real-time reporting, bringing data in from Raisley, just stuff we could only dream of in the old world. And having Presido as a partner was really crucial for us. Because we're a non-technical team, I put in the yellow box like who the project team was. I was the project lead. So not only was I scoping, I did the data migration, and I was running the organisation at the same time. And that's not to say that I'm some superwoman, but it's just who needed to do it. I knew databases, I'd worked with data as a fundraiser, I was the best person in the team to be the architect of the project. So we really needed our Presido team to help us interpret, to help us get set up right, to help us understand what we did want to do and what we didn't want to do going forward. They also helped us with that technical collaboration with Payments2us and Lumery, which is the NDIS app that we're also using within the Salesforce environment. So Presido could help us manage all the different partners who are bringing it together. And they gave us a framework and a structure and a focus and a timeline and weekly check-ins and made sure it happened. And it wouldn't have happened without the partner, the team, with their knowledge and their structure. So we've been working in Salesforce. We went live in, I think it was March, 3 months late, but aren't all database projects 3 months late? And these are some of the feedback from the team who've been using the system for 6 months now. They love it. It's user-friendly. Stuff being able to chat to their colleagues. We can do regular giving. We can import data. We can report easily. We can pull out our own data. People are loving it. They're really excited about working. And I'll talk in a moment about the cultural change. But for me, it's so powerful to see my team embracing and excited by the fact that they're in control of their own data, their customers, their clients, their donors. And they feel that they can really get in touch with their customers and clients. My take, it's actually surpassed the brief. We've got more capability than I even knew I was buying at the time. 6 months in, we're playing with it going, ooh, that's good, we could do that. I didn't know we could do that. We've got some elements to work on, but we've already improved our ability to deliver our client services, importantly, and to grow our fundraising. I've mentioned the team love it. I'm saving money because we are working more efficiently. We're not double handling things. We're not sending feedback by email and hoping it gets in. We're live using Salesforce as our one customer view. It's had a cultural impact because the team now, in the olden days, it used to be, oh, I want to report out of the old database, I'll ask the person who owns it and he'll come back and it won't be quite right and I'll go back to him. People are in there rummaging in their own data. They're manipulating it. They're going, well, this is interesting. Oh, it looks like this is a... We've only got 6 people who signed up to that. What's going on? And the team are already owning their own data and going off down paths that I couldn't have imagined beforehand. And importantly for me, data security, backup and restore, it's straightforward, it's in our own hands. I've already been in there and been able to back up some data using our backup service. That makes me feel very happy that I know generally nothing could go wrong. It's data, of course something can go wrong. So I'm going to leave you with 6 tips and lessons from our journey on this in the last 12 months. I would say before you start, and I'm talking to my friends here who are on their way in the journey, take the time to really understand the system as well as you can before the project starts. I thought I understood it, but I didn't, really. And simple things, for example, I didn't understand how important the user profiles were to drive what people are actually able to do. And I'm still now having to unpick why some people can do things and other people can't, because I just didn't know that the user profiles were that important about driving accessibility and power in the system. I'd have done it differently if I'd worked that out, if I'd taken the time to work that out earlier. As a small organisation, I would certainly say be clear about your minimum viable product. Think about what you don't really need. When you go out to the team and you go, we're going to get a new database, and everybody goes, brilliant, I want this, I want that, can we do that, can we make my tea? Actually, what do we really need on day one to be able to do our jobs better and really focus on that? Know that there's other stuff you can add on, and that's the beauty of the Salesforce environment, and then you can go back to Payments2us and to Presido to help you add it in. Yeah, I'm pleased we kept it simple, stupid. Everybody in this room knows this. Don't underestimate the hours involved in data mapping and migration. I spent Christmas 2021 mapping data from our old database into the new one. It was not I love Christmas, that wasn't my best Christmas, but it was actually really important for me to do that because I got to know exactly what our organisation knows about our customers and our donors and our clients, and I know in the new database what we did put in, what we didn't put in, why, where it's gone. But by golly, that's a huge job. It's a very powerful job. I know you can outsource it, but I think it's actually the driver of knowledge in your organisation, but it takes a long time. Be sure to make full use of any hypercare. Is that the right phrase? Is it hypercare that you get Presido? So when you go live, you get a couple of months where you can start playing with it, and when you break it, you can ring up Presido, go, fix it for me, I don't know how this works. Use that really, really well. I realise now, I went back to the UK during our hypercare period because we were a little bit later, and I've missed so much free tech talent time by doing that. So make sure that when you've got that 2-month free period where you can just get them to fix things for you, work on it, break it, get them to fix it for you, because that is absolutely gold at that time. So James. Get people used to using online help and developing. This is more about getting a team. It's a really interesting one. People initially Jan, you've been running the project, how do I do this? And actually getting people to say, sign up to the Trailhead or Google it, the data is there, someone's probably already asked this question, and there'll be a little chat. Culturally, that was quite different for us, and people still want to have someone to go to who's the expert. But over 6 months, we're seeing people that knowledge is being devolved, and that's power in the organisation, that individuals can go and problem solve for themselves. And it's building their capacity as well. If I got run over by the proverbial tram, people could still run the database without me, which is how it needs to be. And finally, and this is a note to myself really, once the job's done, be ready to document your processes and keep building and learning and adding. And I think that's the bit that I was so pleased to get the database up and running, and everybody loved it, and it's really powerful, and we've got graphs, and it's fantastic. But we've made a lot of decisions along the way about how Muscular Dystrophy Australia uses the CRM and where we put data and what's the protocol for doing certain things. And we sort of haven't been documenting that particularly well as we've been going along making those decisions. And so thinking about how you can do that in your organisation is going to just embed that success for you even quicker. So there's my top tips. I'm around if anybody wants to have a chat afterwards or drop me an email. Very, very happy to share you the whole story. So I'm now going to hand over to a far more sophisticated user of the system to see what else you can do with it.